Hello and welcome to another episode of The Average EV. Today we have another Boomerang challenge where I'm taking the Chevy Equinox EV from here to Raleigh, North Carolina and back. Let's get into it. Okay everyone, we are here at the Electrify America site in Owings Mills where I start every Boomerang challenge. Let's go over the rules. So first off, I need to stay on I-95 as long as humanly possible. When I travel through DC, I can take one of the three routes. So either way, with 495 or cutting across with 295, that is okay. And then we travel down I-95 and then we hang a right going towards Raleigh and then make our way backwards. And that's pretty much it. Mostly following speed limits so we are safe as possible. But again, we're trying to see how fast can we travel charging wise basically and efficiency wise to see how good of a road tripper this is. Now, if you've seen any of my videos with the Chevy Equinox EV, we know that the charging is inconsistent. I have a little bit of a theory and a plan of how I'm going to tackle this, and I'll go over that in a second. Okay, we're here at 98% state of charge. Probably only a few more minutes and then we're going to be getting on our way to Raleigh, North Carolina. So what's the plan? My plan is to pretty much never charge higher than 50% state of charge. I'm also going to try out a couple of my theories. I have a theory that once the GM dip starts, if I pull out and plug in with a different handle or on a different charger, that I might actually get higher speeds. I have no clue if it's going to work. I've never actually tested it. But I was like, you know what? The Boomerang Challenge is a perfect opportunity to try some things out and figure things out. So you all will join me as we do that together and see what happens. So the ID.4's time is the fastest time I have, and that is 12 hours and 21 minutes. So this car, if done right, could potentially do it. If done wrong, could take way longer. Who knows? Hopefully it doesn't take longer than the Kona or the Tesla Model S, but we shall see. So we are still at 98%. We're gonna wait for that to tick up to 100, unplug, and then we're gonna head on our way. So before things get started, I have this set up to take me to Rocky Mount. I'm hoping I can make it all the way to Rocky Mount in one charge. It's 284 miles. If we can average about 3.2 to 3.4 miles per kilowatt hour, we should be able to do it. It's only 284, so that would be awesome. If not, we will stop at Emporia, but we won't have to stop in Richmond no matter what. So we'll see how that goes. I'll be monitoring that number. Oh, it just went up. That's never good. I'll be monitoring that number as we go on. Here's the trip information. I'm gonna run trip A. I'll reset it right before I go, but I'm gonna run trip 1, sorry, not trip A, as the full trip, and then trip 2 is my other trip for me to do things with if I need to calculate some stuff out, and then current trip will kind of be after every charge. So it looks like the charging session has ended. I'm going to go unplug, and then we're gonna get on our way. All right, we've made it to 100%. There it is. Thank you, driver. Interesting. It's not saying my name, but it did my discount, so I guess it worked. All right, let's get in the car and on our way to Rocky Mount, hopefully, North Carolina. We are on the road. So here's the deal, and I kind of mentioned it already. I want to try and make it to Rocky Mount, but that means we need to have around like a 3.4 mile per kilowatt hour efficiency. So this beginning part of the trip is really important that I am following the speed limits, going the speed limit, being super efficient. You know, if there's any cars I can trail, do that. But trying to get there, that way I can ride it all the way down, because we know the charging's not great. So I need to take advantage of as much of a range boost as I can. Now, a lot of you know that this car has the advertised range of 319 miles, but in my range test, I only got 264 and then 268. And that was at a 2.9 miles per kilowatt hour efficiency, but I only need to go 279. So as long as I get that 3.3. I should be good to go. I think because of the elevation profile, it doesn't appear to be that windy. I have not checked my windy app yet to see what the wind is, but I think I can do it. So we're gonna live on the edge. Right now, Google Maps thinks I'm gonna arrive with 15% state of charge, so that's not good. It keeps going up and up. I will say, once I pass Richmond, I will make my decision as to whether I'll go to Emporia or all the way to Rocky Mount. If we have to go to Emporia, it's not the end of the world, but you know, here we are. I also really want to make it to Rocky Mount because it's the Sheets, and they're open 24 hours, and there'll be a bathroom. So yeah, that's the bonus there. If not, I'll probably do a quick charge at Emporia, and then hop, skip, jump over to Rocky Mount. So let's get back on the road here, and I'll catch up with you all, you know, in a little bit. Maybe when I get on the 95 heading south. We are on 95 cruising. I gave you some updates so far. So we've gone 73.1 miles. We've been averaging 3.7 miles per kilowatt hour efficiency. And again, we've been going about an average speed of 50 to 60 miles per hour between 795, 695, and 495, and now I-95. So we'll see how that goes. We're eventually going to get to the stretch of 95 that is, it's either 65 or 70 miles per hour, so that's definitely going to impact us a little bit. I'm going to stick with the speed limit, because as a lot of you know, when you're on a highway and if you go under the speed limit, it can become dangerous sometimes with the way people pass you. But needless to say, looking over at the navigation, it says we've got 3 hours exactly left to go, 210 miles until we get to our destination, and we have 253 miles of rated range left, so that's a 43 mile buffer. So I'm feeling very good to make it all the way to Rocky Mount on one charge, or I guess 0 charges if you don't count the first one. And then right now, worth noting, the navigation, the built-in navigation with Google says we're going to arrive with negative 10%. I believe my quick mental calculations are we'll arrive with 5%. So we'll see who is the victor when it comes to calculating our arrival state of charge. But again, once we get through Richmond, if I'm feeling uncomfortable, we will just go to Emporia, because no one needs to get towed tonight because of a test. So I'm going to get back to the road here. Hopefully we will make it to Rocky Mount. If there's anything important, I will catch up with you all in a bit. So checking in here, everyone. We are past Richmond. I've been waiting to make a decision. So I've gone 185.3 miles, 3.5 mile per kilowatt hour efficiency. So I've got room there to play around with. I have 98 miles left until Rocky Mount, and it says I'm going to arrive with negative 3%. It was just on negative 2%. I know that this system is already conservative. I've been going the speed limit, and if it goes to like 55, I take advantage of the speed limit being a little bit slower. I think I'm just gonna go for it. I think there's a couple bailout charge points where I'd only have to be for like, I don't know, 10 minutes if I had to bail out. But I still have time. See, now it's back to negative 2%. And remember, mind you, everyone, this started at saying I was gonna arrive at negative 15%. So over the last 3 hours, we've gained 13%. So I'm gonna stay positive. I still have time to go to Emporia if I have to, but I think, yeah, we're gonna stay here, go to Rocky Mount, and that's gonna provide a huge advantage, because I don't know if in any of my Boomerang challenges I've ever gone all the way to Rocky Mount without stopping. So if I'm able to do that, I think there's a chance. Okay, so we are about to pass Emporia, and it says we're gonna arrive to Rocky Mount with 0%. So we're going to Rocky Mount. We can always drive slower, right? Although I will be honest, I've been driving 65 in a 70 because I really would prefer to make it to Rocky Mount than have to get off here, because I've already brought up the bathroom situation, because I'd have to get off here, charge up, and then go there anyways. So I'd rather just make it all the way there. I still think we're gonna get there with more than 0%, but right now it's telling me 0%. So it's gonna get back on the road, and hopefully I'll catch up with you all on Rocky Mount. If not, okay, everyone. So we are exiting here for Rocky Mount. We made it. And it says we're gonna arrive, right now we have 5%, it says we're gonna arrive with 4% state of charge. So when we got in the car initially, it said we were gonna make it here with negative 15%, and look at us now, 4% on arrival. So that just kind of goes to show how conservative this route planner is for the Chevy Equinox EV. Obviously, that was over a really long stretch, 281, almost 300 miles. So don't expect to erase a 15% deficit in, 50 miles. But if you see it's, a pretty big percentage, and you've got quite a bit of time to get there, like, you might be able to make it happen. But obviously, it's always better to play it safe, have a few backup options. And if you're a person and you don't want to be stressed out, then don't do that. Just stop back at Emporia and you would have been perfectly fine. But I'm always looking to optimize here, especially on this particular test where I'm trying to beat the ID.4's time. And that was really integral that we did it that way, and reached all the way to Rocky Mount to have a shot at beating the ID.4. So let's go ahead and get to the sheets here, get plugged in, and then I'll use the restroom, and then we'll kind of see what our plan is next. The plan, well, I can tell you now, it's gonna be to go to the stop in Raleigh, so the turnaround point. So let's go ahead, get the sheets, and then I'll catch up with y'all. All right, let's grab some data. So it's 83.9 kilowatt hours used. Still got 5% left. And then I go to trips. Here we are, 283.4 miles, 3.3 mile per kilowatt hour efficiency, 4 hours and 27 minutes of driving. So much driving. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and plug in, and then I'll catch up with y'all. All right, we are plugged in and charging. Everything looks about right, because this is like 280 volts at the bottom of the pack. So I'm gonna go use the restroom, and then I'll see what's going on when I get back out here. All right, we're charging. We're currently at 20%. It's been 7 minutes, 133 kilowatts. I do actually think something's wrong with this station, but I'm cool with getting that speed. It's not that big a deal. Looking here at the navigation, this is routing us to the Electrify America site in Raleigh. Right now it says we'll arrive with negative 4%. So I'm gonna let that bump up to maybe 5%. So we'll probably get the 30% state of charge, 35% state of charge, and then we'll unplug and move on. All right, I'm all charged up to 39%. Was a little bit more than we needed, but I ran back into the restroom because the place we're going to won't be open when we get there. So don't want to have to be stuck without a bathroom. Okay, we are exiting here for Glenwood Avenue, which is where the EA site is. We're gonna charge up. We need about 110 to 120 miles to get to Emporia. So we're gonna come back and we're gonna skip Rocky Mount and go to Emporia. So that should be around I would say 40 to 45% state of charge. So gonna go ahead get there, plug in, and then I'll catch up with y'all. Again, we're on our way. I just wanted to say we're tracking about 6 minutes behind the ID.4. So this is going to be a close one for sure. I think if I can make sure I get just the right amount of charge at this site and not overcharge, that we can get ahead. And then the next time marker is 9:19. If we can get to Richmond by 9:19, then we have a shot to beat the ID.4. And I actually went back and watched the video, and I left at the exact same time for both of the Boomerangs, 12:12. So it's gonna be pretty easy to kind of time everything up and make sure it's accurate timing. All right, here are the quick stats. There's a quick little stretch: 53.9 miles, 2.5 mile per kilowatt hour, efficiency 48 minutes. And then here's the trip so far: 337.3 miles, 3.2 mile per kilowatt hour, efficiency. We have 43 miles left over. Let's go ahead and get plugged in. All right, we're all plugged in. Initializing charge. There we go. Oh, we're gonna get full speeds. Excellent. 148 kilowatts. Looking good. Okay, we're charging. Got 152 kilowatts. Looking good. Looks like a great charge session we're gonna have. It says if we left now with 21%, we'd get there negative 30%. So if you run those numbers, we do need to get to about 51% state of charge. I'm gonna kind of track that, and if we hit that GM dip, we might just go to Rocky Mount instead, hit that for a second, and then move on with our lives, because I don't want to have slow charging. Although this might be a good time to test out the unplug replug technique and see if that might give us better speed. So maybe I'll do that before we leave. If that doesn't work, maybe I'll take a little time off just because, or maybe not. I don't know. I'll decide later. We are at 33%, getting decent speeds here, 138 kilowatts still. So we might just stay here. If it does the GM dip, I will try to unplug, replug, but looks like we'll stay here till 50% and then head off to Emporia, Virginia. We are almost at 50% state of charge, and we're still getting 121 kilowatts. So again, this completely erratic charging curve. Although here is the temperature, 67 degrees. So I think in cooler weather, the Equinox EV does a lot better with charging, kind of proving that the overheating thing. So maybe it'll be worth my time when it's a milder temperature to do a full charging curve to see what that might look like for the Equinox EV. I'm gonna go ahead and unplug. Still getting 118 kilowatts at 51%. That's awesome for the Equinox. It's worth noting that these are the BTC Power Electrify America units, and the other time I had a really good session with the Equinox was on a BTC Power. So just saying, not sure if that means anything, but all right, so let's go ahead, get in the car and get on our way. Okay, it says we'll make it with 3%, got an hour and 34-minute drive, 110 miles. Let's get on our way to Emporia, Virginia. All right, everyone, we got the sun rising. We're about an hour out from the next charge stop. Things are going smooth so far. Super Cruise, haven't even talked about that. Super Cruise has been great, except for there's like just random spots where there's just no Super Cruise on 95. It's kind of strange for being such a well-traveled road, but whatever. Anyways, we're gonna keep on keeping on to Emporia, Virginia for our next charging stop. Okay, we made it. 109.5 miles, 2.6 miles per kilowatt hour, hour and a half of driving time so far for the full trip. 446.9 miles, 3 miles per kilowatt hour. We arrived with 6% state of charge. I'm gonna plug in and then I'm gonna go use the restroom. Okay, here is the plan. Since we plugged in, we've been getting about 123 kilowatts, which isn't top speeds, but it's Obviously not the end of the world, especially if it holds it for a while. So I'm really not that upset about it. We've been charging for about 9 minutes, it looks like, and we're at 25% state of charge. So originally I was just gonna go to the Richmond spot, but I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try and go to Stafford, Virginia. But if this dips below 120 some kilowatts at any point in time, then I'll just unplug and go to Richmond, if that makes any sense. So if we can get enough at these speeds to get to Stafford, I'd rather get to Stafford. But if we are unable to get to Stafford, then we'll just go to Richmond and we'll charge up there, go to Stafford, and then go to the end. Okay, so no sooner than I wrapped up the other video, the charging speed dropped to 103. So I am gonna in fact go to Richmond. We just need a little bit more to get to Richmond, and then we're gonna head out. And I'm gonna stop at Starbucks and grab breakfast as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that order in and then pick that up and then get on our way. Starbucks order is in, so as soon as I see that it's ready to go, I'm gonna unplug. There's no point in sitting there and not charging. So charge up a little bit more here and then get on our way. It says we're gonna get to Richmond at 9:01 a.m., which means we're gonna be a little bit ahead of the ID.4, which is good news. All right, everyone, we have charged up to 44% state of charge. A little bit more than I would have liked, but again, I was waiting for Starbucks and it is what it is. So now we're gonna head over to Starbucks, grab the order, and then get on our way to Richmond, Virginia. After that, we're going to go to Stafford. Maybe, we'll see if we need to go there or not. But that is the current plan as of right now. All right, we've made it. There's a short little trip there, hour 19 minutes. 519.6 miles, 3 miles per kilowatt hour. Arrived with 14%. Gonna go ahead, plug in, and then I'll let you in on the rest of the plan. Okay, everyone, here is the plan. We're at 34%, still getting 136 kilowatts, which is good. If we get below, let's call it like 120, 115, we're going to leave. If at that point in time, this is 0%, then we're gonna go to the end. If it's not, then we're going to go to Stafford. We're going to top up just enough to get to Owings Mills and then leave. So those are the current plans. Things are looking good. We arrived here, I believe, 10 minutes before the ID.4 did, when I did this with the ID.4. So we are pacing ahead of the ID.4. Very, very exciting. If we can go straight to the end, I would like to do so. Okay, we dipped below 115, so we're gonna leave and we're gonna go to Stafford. We'll arrive with 19%, and then we'll charge up and we will get on the way to the grand finale. We are back on the road. I don't know if I said, but that was Richmond. So we're in Richmond. If you have followed my channel at all, you know I have had major issues with Richmond over time. That was flawless. All the stations were working. There was a Mach-E that was taking up one stall but using another. So I don't know if he tried to use the one and it didn't work. I don't know. It ended up not mattering too much. But I did think that was weird. So hopefully all of them are working properly. According to the app they are. But yeah, that was a great stop. Hit max speeds. I think at one point it was like 157 kilowatts, which is great. And then it held to 115 kilowatts, around 48, 49%. So that was awesome. Really great charging session. I have not seen these types of charge sessions ever on this car, so I really am thinking that extremely hot weather severely affects the charging curve, and that the charging curve is much better when it's cooler outside. Which is like a duh kind of moment, right? But like some cars, like my ID.4, they handle the exterior, the outside heat very, very well. And like I've said before, I've driven through Texas, during the spring, it was like 80s, 90s, 100, and had no problems getting consistent charging speeds in the ID.4. But I don't know if maybe Chevy just doesn't have the thermals locked in yet to kind of combat the heat. Just think about it, when you're parking
on top of asphalt or whatever, blacktop, and it gets really hot, probably like 114 to 140 degrees when it's, you know, 80 to 100 degrees outside. Like, really, that's going right up against your battery pack, warming it up. So yeah, I don't know how much Chevy can really do to remedy that, but it's something they should look into, in my opinion, because I think it could improve the experience all the time for their customers. Obviously, I'm having a really great experience right now, and we're pacing to beat the ID.4, so proving that this car can definitely road trip if you do it the right way.
62 miles, hour worth of driving. There we go. 581.9 miles. Let's go plug in. Here's the plan. It says we'll arrive at -9%. I want that to get to like 5%, and then hopefully that doesn't drop. We're at 37%. We've been here for 6 minutes. Not sure if y'all can see that or not. 6 minutes. So hopefully that's another, I don't know, 4 or 5 minutes, and then we are out of here, going to the end. All right, we're at 49%. Once it hits 50, I'm gonna go unplug. It says we'll arrive with 6%. Everything's been a little conservative here, so hopefully we'll end with a little bit more. And it says we're gonna arrive at 12:12, which would put us 21 minutes ahead of the Volkswagen ID.4 and its performance in the Boomerang Challenge. Time 12:18, stats, there we go. 681.5 miles, 2.9 miles per kilowatt hour consumption. And there's the last leg, 16% left. I can't believe it. Unfortunately, I can't charge yet, but here we are. Okay, everybody, so we made it back. The time was 12:18. We have to subtract 12 minutes. That puts us at 12:06, making it 15 minutes faster than the Volkswagen ID.4. So the Chevy Equinox EV beat the ID.4. It was about the same amount of traffic. I mean, I'm impressed. I gave this thing everything I could. I did the strategy I thought would work, which was not charge beyond 50 if ever, and basically only get what you need to get to the next station, ride the curve. And it came out on top. So very, very impressive. What does that mean for you who's watching this video? How is this useful? Well, I think it's really critical if you're gonna take this car on a road trip, whenever you leave somewhere. So say you're leaving from home, charge up to 100%. If you stop at a hotel, find somewhere with charging and charge up to 100%, and always leave at 100%. And then just drive as efficiently as you can for as long as you can. And this will get you this just giant advantage comparative to like some other cars in the segment. I'm comparing to ID.4. And then once you've done your long stretch, the longest stretch you're able to do, then just hop to the next charger. And this is old hat. People know about this. Now, I was mulling this over because the Equinox EV curve is so kind of random. So, and you may have heard me talk a little bit about it, where I would set 2 destinations. So I'd be like, well, I'll go here if it holds this speed, but if it cuts out early, then I'll go to this earlier spot. So maybe like set a further destination while you're charging, and if you're getting good speeds, let it ride. And if they come down, go to a destination a little bit closer. Additionally, if you're traveling with a family, so for example, I wouldn't drive like this with a family, right? I'm not trying to go as fast as possible, but it's probably not going to be that miserable if you go, you plug in, you do your family things for 15, 20, 25 minutes. When we stop somewhere, we're at least 20 to 25 minutes, if not a little bit longer, especially if we have the dog, then we have to walk the dog and all that sort of stuff, give the dog water. So this isn't as bad of a road tripper as I thought it was going to be. And when the temperatures are good enough, and today was like perfect conditions for the Equinox to succeed. When the temperatures are good enough, the charging curve was not terrible. So yeah, I'm super, super impressed with the Chevy Equinox EV. This is not the result I thought. I thought it was going to come in after the ID.4, but you know, not as slow as the Kona, but it beat everything. So this is my number one right now. Can't believe it. So thanks again for watching. I hope you all found this video helpful. Love to hear comments down below. Truly am shocked at this result. If it was hotter, I don't think I would have gotten this result. I do want to say that because I would have derated earlier, but then I could have tested out my theory with different chargers, but which I never got to do. So anyways, thanks again for watching. If you haven't already, please remember to give a like, a subscribe, hit the notification bell. I hope you all have been enjoying all this Equinox EV content. More will be coming. Follow me on X, and I will catch you all next time.